Last episode, I said I wasn't going to make many transfers. I lied. I've done 8 so far, and there's 4 more pending. Yeah, as I sit recording today, it's deadline day. The day you're watching this video, if you're watching it the first day up, transfer deadline has happened, but I've caught transfer fever, and I haven't been able to control myself. Now, of the 8 transfers that have happened so far, 1 of them is for the first team, the rest are youngsters for the future, and let me tell you now, for the Brexiteers out there, rejoice. I've signed an English player, yes, Nathan Morrissey, welcome to the club. £10 million from Norwich City, a new backup left wing back. Obviously, Sassy has been a great left back option for us and really developed nicely. Morrissey might be able to offer a little bit of competition in this part of the pitch. But to be honest, it was primarily I signed him to be a new backup because Jose Luis Ortiz, as much as I love him, he has just not been good enough when I've called upon him. And actually, I think Nathan is a really good player. And for £10 million for an English player this good, you can't really be mad. The only downside, there is a £36 million minimum release clause. And yeah, a few of our first team players do have release clauses. I don't love it. It's something that I'm hoping we will be able to address in the next 12 or so months. Now, obviously, at the end of last episode, I think we had around £16 million in transfer budget remaining. We have no budget remaining right now. I've got a load of deals pending, which I don't have the finances to pull off. That is because I've already brought in 7 new players for the under-21s. I wanted to bolster our under-21s a little bit, add in some new blood, and, well, prior to making 2 signings in goal, I didn't have a goalkeeper, which really does make the fact that our under-21s are running away at the top of the Premier Division 2 all the more miraculous. Yes, our under-21s is really good. I'm not sure how promotion and stuff works to the Premier League kind of reserve league. Can I even access the reserve league? Oh my word, there's pop-ups everywhere. Can I get promoted to the under-21 English division? Oh, wait, do I go hit? Premier Division 1. Can I go up to this division? If it loads, there we go. It's loaded. 29 teams are in this league. Yeah, hopefully we're going to be up here. I'm not sure if it's to do with youth level or if we can go up on merit. Answers on a postcard if you know. Nevertheless, there are so many players here. We are going to go rapid fire. I'll start with the 2 players I'm most excited about, who are both arguably right wing backs. The first is Matías Arenas. He is a Chilean international. 2 caps already at the age of 18 is super exciting. We signed him for 1.8 million, making him the most expensive of these 7 youngsters. He is naturally a defensive mid, although he can play at right wing back. I'm not sure what his best position is. I feel like if he can improve defensively with his marking and positioning, he's probably best off as a wing back, but, and it's a bit of a big but, I have already signed another young right wing back in this window. Rodrigo Samaniego is the man we've picked up. Paraguayan youngster. I really like the look of this guy. Signed for a whopping £700,000. I feel like, for his age, he looks phenomenal. He's the kind of player, if his polygon just expands in all directions, we are going to be golden. Maybe wish his passing was a little bit better, but you know what? Towards the end of the year, if we get a few injuries at right back, I could see him stepping up into the first team. I mentioned a need for a new goalkeeper for the under-21s. We've picked up 2. A combined outlay for these guys of about £1.5 million. Martin Nemec is in green, and Robert Salavastru of Romania is in blue. These 2 players, just players potentially for the future. Robert has the potential to get homegrown at club. They're not particularly sexy or exciting signings, I will admit. Samuel Okichukwu comes into play at left wing back. I think of all the players we've signed, he is the least exciting, but then again, he was the cheapest at £200,000. If he can learn to defend, he might be useful. And last but not least, my under-21s lack some depth in the wide area. Zebic has been signed from Klerk Brugge. Yeah, I know, another player from this team. It's the 3rd signing I've made from this team. They just have good, well, intakes, apparently. Although, apparently their youth recruitment is only above average. Admittedly, right, you look at Zebic, you look at 3-star potential and think, really, Jack? But actually, 3-star potential is a championship standard, and I needed a body in this part of the pitch. And I also wanted a player for the other side of the pitch in the under-21s, a right attacking midfielder. We've got Mirab here. I'm not going to try and say his last name. Another Georgian youngster. Again, 3-star potential, but in his case, apparently that's Premier League standard. So that's definitely something to consider. 3-star potential in our squad now is basically borderline championship, premiership quality. I guess for £750,000, we'll hope he is on the higher side of that spectrum. It is worth mentioning, obviously, with all these youngsters, it's a bit of a shotgun approach. A load of signings here just to bolster the under-21s. If 1 or 2 of them develop into first teamers, great. If 1 or 2 of them get sold for £10 million, we make all our money back and then some. But, and there is a bit of a big but here, I've still got 4 transfers pending. 2 are youngsters akin to the other under-21s I've already shown you. There's 2 players that I wish I'd found sooner, because I probably would have prioritised those as signings. In terms of the less exciting players, we've got Hidekazu Watanabe, who plays for Avispa's youth team over in Japan. I like the look of this guy, has only recently turned 18, versatile attacking midfielder option, signing him for just over £1 million. And Judy Sefu is another similar player, playing for Montpellier's youth team. £1 million for this guy, I think, could be a smart bit of business, has only recently turned 18 as well, so has that potential to get homegrown at club. But these two guys I've just shown, then they wouldn't be ready for the first team for a number of years. But Alayo Silva and Valentin Diop probably could play for me now. Let's start with Diop. He is basically, he would be our best right attacking mid, I think. He's 19. Look at the physicals. Look at them. It is absolutely stupid outside of his strength. He's 19 years old. A rating for a signing, have a deal negotiated of £2.3 million for this man. Now, admittedly, right, BJS has fallen out of favour lately at the club. If we compare Valentin with BJS, look at the chart. Look at the difference here. Valentin is absolutely unreal. The fact that I gave BJS £28,000 was a mistake. I was wondering if I could sell him to generate the funds I need, but he's only recently signed a new deal. Nevertheless, for this 19-year-old, I think I've got to find a way to get £2 million, and he's probably not the best of the two. Silva is slightly more expensive at just over £3 million is the negotiated fee. Look how good this guy is for a centre-back. He would be a dreamy player to have in the middle of our defence. Really good ability with the ball at his feet. I say really good. Look, 16 technique. Admittedly, the passing isn't all there, but he's just a really well-rounded option. 18 years young, has that potential to get homegrown at club. Great jumping reach, great determination. Not a small player either. Kind of hate the fact he has the gets forward whenever possible trait. And whilst my staff have him penciled down to be kind of 7th in the centre-back pecking order, I can tell you now I could see a world where he is, if not a regular starter, basically the 4th choice centre-back who, whenever we have an injury, he's the man we throw in. The issue is, with all of these pending deals, I mean, you can see the pending value of them is £7.79 million. Only £30,000 the impact on the wage budget. But I don't have the transfer budget to do that right now. Now, it's the 21st in January right now, and I have got all those deals, I think, being delayed. I think I could confirm them all if I had the money. We've actually got Nottingham Forest in 19th away from home and Aston Villa to play. Then we've got deadline day. My plan is basically to just go through the transfer rollercoaster with you guys today and hope that I can get these deals done. Now, there is a way I could get these deals done immediately. It's not a way I really want to do it, because there is one clause I have here at the club that I could sell for a lot of money, and don't worry, it's not the Suljic sell-on, that's only 1.1 million, but it is the Joel Ambrosio sell-on. I could sell on the 50% of any future sale clause I have with Liverpool for £11.25 million. The dilemma I have is, do I think he's going to sell for more than £22 million in the future? Admittedly, they've not actually really been giving Ambrosio much of a chance to develop. He's actually loan listed right now. They've not used him at all this year. He's not really improved, but he has still got 2.5 years left on his current contract. My thinking is, if I can't generate a sale, this could be the thing that I, use in order to get the deals over the line. Now, in terms of who I could sell, I was kind of looking through the first team and sorting them by transfer value, thinking, who is disposable? Who could I get rid of for £7 million? There has been a lot of interest in Christian Bendel, which is a little bit interesting. He's unhappy at the club because I've not been giving him enough first-team football. We actually rejected a bid much earlier in the window before this all transpired of about £6 million from Austria Vienna. I mean, obviously, he's played 9 games for us. We signed him for 3.8 million. He is a player we could possibly look to move on, but if I do sell him on, I have a massive gap in the defensive midfielder area to fill in. Even more so because of this. Yeah, I didn't really want to mention this sooner. Remember Vladimir Velikovic? He's back at Milan. Why, I hear you ask? Jackie was playing loads of games here. I know, I played him in 14 games. I was a really good loan person, I think, but they wanted him to play at defensive mid. They were unhappy I was playing him outside of his agreed position, which is a little bit confusing because obviously out of possession, he was playing as a defensive midfielder, but in possession, he stepped up. I feel like that could have been made a bit clearer by Football Manager. The fact they just recalled him because he wasn't playing defensive mid in possession is, well, in retrospect, it's a little bit awkward, isn't it? It probably means that David Addons is going to get a load of first-team football in the defensive midfielder position, but yeah, I can't really let Bendel go now because I need him as a backup at defensive mid. I mean, I've got Bendel and Addams that can play at defensive mid. Luis Ortiz, I definitely don't want to play there. Fram, I feel like the star ratings lie a little bit. Haddad can't even play defensive midfielder, so how he'd fit in the team, I don't know. And Jimenez, I guess I could play a defensive mid, but the issue is, in possession, he can't play at centre mid either. Basically, it's an absolute bloody disaster, and I hate AC Milan. Now, we aren't going to kick things off with an away day and a league game against Nottingham Forest, but not before I just catch you up on the matches since we last here, starting with this game against Arsenal, managed by Arne Slot. They managed to beat us 1-0, and Garcia got sent off in the first few minutes. And annoyingly, he is suspended for today's game, which is a real issue because he would have been really useful to have against Nottingham Forest, who are towards the bottom of the table. And against Fulham away from home, we actually got a draw. We were 3-1 down in this game, and I thought we were going to be going in at half-time at 3-1 down. That was before Lennis popped up with this goal here. And can we discuss this counter-attacking move? This is proper Lewis FC right here. Our physicality, our counter-attacking ability, moving the ball quickly, getting it into the final third. Cardozo put it on a plate for Lennis, who was never going to miss. And having got that goal deep in extra time at the end of the first half, come the second half, just a few minutes in, another just really nice passing move. Look at this. This is football. This is beautiful. We were playing a little bit of keep ball here. Pereira and Grommen, our centre-backs, playing piggy in the middle. Quinones, Aguiar, 3-3. I hoped we could make a comeback and get all 3 points, but in the end we had to settle for a share of the spoils, which to be fair was probably flattering to us. I mean, obviously in the grand scheme of our form, it really doesn't look that good, does it? We need to start doing something, but away from home against Nottingham Forest, I think is an opportunity to do something about it. Maybe at home against Villa a bit more challenging. Forest right now are 19th in the Premier League. They have had an absolute stinky season, but annoyingly, they have just beaten Crystal Palace. And if they were to beat us, we could only be at best 7 points above the drop, which obviously, given how this season's gone lately, is a little bit scary. I don't think we've won in our last 7 league games. I was hoping that maybe I could hold a team meeting, but there's not a reason to hold a team meeting. Also, if you didn't know, if you've been playing FM26 thinking, how do I do a team meeting? If you just right-click on your team name on the overview screen here, it's an option. Please don't ask me how I found out that existed, because I literally have no idea. Anyway, up first today, we've got another away day to do. It was a historical ground yesterday. It's a historical ground today. We're heading to the Midlands. The City Ground awaits. So for today's away day, we are heading to the East Midlands. We are heading to Nottingham. And perhaps most importantly, to the City Ground. Now, of course, the City Ground is one side of the river. Notts County's ground is the other. It's a bit mad, isn't it? One of these grounds plays in the lower leagues of England. The other plays in the Premier League. And yet from above, it's almost hard to tell the difference in size. Ladies and gentlemen, we have parking, although it's not the best parking we've seen, is it? Also, Trent Bridge Cricket Ground, right next door to the stadium. I feel like we should do an away day there. Because there's more grass, it just looks more impressive because it's bigger. There's only one picture at Trent Bridge. Here it is in all its glory. I mean, look at it. Beautiful cricket ground. It's not what we're here for, though. We are here for this, the Brian Clough stand. I'm going to be honest with respect to Mr. Clough. The stadium is not the prettiest from the outside, is it? And when it comes to this car park, like, admittedly, they have made the most of the space. It does just look a little bit depressing. Like, just put some trees in or something. Make it look a little bit appetising. Now, admittedly, this footage is from 2018, so for all I know, there could have been a bit of a restoration going on at the City Ground. If I'm not mistaken, there has actually been work done on it fairly recently. I do love this, though. This stand here backs onto the River Trent, and actually, there's just a road that goes under the stadium that I guess is open during the day. Look how close you are to the river here. I was going to say they've missed a trick by not calling this stand the Riverside, but actually it's called the Trent End, which, considering it's next to the River Trent, you know, that's probably a better name, isn't it? In the stadium, there are 3 dots. Please don't let me down. What have we got here? Oh, look at this. The City Ground Under the Lights, 2016. I mean, it is just quite a classic English football stadium, if a little bit dated. But you know what? Unlike Newcastle, they understand seat art. Look at that. 2 different colours of seat with a purpose. Right, dots on the pitch. What have you got for me? Why are we in the car park? Why are we here? Right, 1 dot, 1 hope. No hope. It just takes me outside the ground. I had such high hopes for drone footage and they both just take me to the car park. You know what? To cheer myself up, I'm just going to go for a walk down the river. You know, I'll just leave the stadium in the sunset and go for a wander. I'll go back in the stadium to give my final review. I love this stadium. It's a historical stadium. I do think it's been renovated in recent years, but I can't judge it based on that. You can go watch some cricket. You could go watch Notts County instead. Heck, you could go to the park, play football, or head to the Huck Skate Park. If you wanted to. But as a stadium and match day experience, I can't give it a good score because I've not seen enough. So I'm going to give it a respectable 5 out of 10. And if you are wondering, Jack, how can you give it a 5 out of 10? Nottingham Forest will always hold a soft spot in my heart. I've told this story before in videos, so skip forward if you've heard it before. But when I was a little kid, I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, Nottingham Forest invited loads of kids at my school to go watch a game at the City Ground. And I was signed up to go. I was excited to go at a weekend. And then I got chicken pox and couldn't go. And I wrote to the club saying that I was sad that I couldn't get to go with all my classmates. And they gave me and my dad tickets just to go to another random game. Didn't have to do that for 7-year-old Jack. You know what? For that alone, I'm bumping the score up to a 6 and you can't stop me. Anyway, this is the kind of game where if we were at home, I might be tempted to start on the more attacking system to start. But because we're away from home and I think we've got to be sensible, I am going to opt to just go for the more kind of traditional shape. Obviously, Addons is suddenly going to be thrust into regular first team action. He has struggled really so far in the Premier League. I think some of that is just down to his lack of physicality. He's an 18-year-old still bulking out as a player. But obviously, with us no longer having a first choice centre mid to play alongside Cardozo, he has simply put the man who is going to get the nod. Elsewhere in the team, BJS has lost his starting spot in the team to Lennis upon him returning back from AFCON. And obviously at right back, Creti is in the team, because Maria Garcia is suspended because he's a moron. Also, I just realised Jimenez had been out with a little injury, but he is back, and whilst he's not match sharp, I am going to start him over O'Loughlin in the heart of our defence. I was hoping that Jimenez would maybe develop a little bit more than he has, the centre-back. I don't want to throw the 19-year-old under the bus because he is still improving. But yeah, he's the kind of player who could see himself getting rotated out the first team as we try and look for a winning combo in the next few games. We've not won in 7. Nottingham Forest won their most recent game. Despite the fact they're down in 19th, we are still very much the underdogs, but I want to believe we've got a bit about ourselves. Admittedly, at this point, it feels like so long ago since we beat Manchester United 3-2 in that home game. Yeah, the team is not really looking like the same team it was back then. The momentum has gone. The morale is kind of in the toilet. But after a difficult run of games, I feel like this one is winnable. They are playing a 4-2-4 in this game here, and I have noticed, obviously, at home, I imagine they're going to play a really attacking style of play, which could leave them open to counter-attacks. At the same time, we are perhaps going to have to absorb some pressure in this game. And Dicker, with the ball, plays it forward to Lewis Potter, who's a quality little player. Thomas Ellison inside Baisley, Scott. Baisley passes it back to Scott, through on goal, scores. Inside 6 minutes, it's all going wrong again. I will say, what happened with our defence here? Pereira steps out and it's just a little give and go. Cardozo doesn't track. Pereira can't get back into position. And yeah, Forest take the early lead. Maybe Nana disappointed to get beaten at the near post. Now, because of how Nottingham Forest are playing in this game, where they've got no centre attacking mid initially, I don't necessarily feel like, out of possession, our two defensive mids need to start quite so deep. So I'm actually going to move Addons and Cardozo forward here, looking for them to just be a little bit proactive when we're defending. They don't need to sit quite as deep because there's not going to be players in that space. Instead, I kind of want them matching up against the two-man midfielder of Nottingham Forest. Looking at the stats here, 17 minutes played, they've had 1 shot on target to our 2. Not having a lot of the ball. It's not how we play. We've had plenty of shots, but nothing of note. Marquinhos with the ball for them on the far side, looking to bring it forward. The right-sided player gives it to Owens up front. They are playing very, very deep, Nottingham Forest here. Going to be lots of runners appearing from deep if they want to score. Owens, loads of space in the middle. What is happening? He shoots. That's maybe a little warning sign. I've dropped the defensive mids. He's going to leave a little bit of gap in that kind of situation. Not loving what I've seen from us so far in this game, but it's still early doors. It's not like we've conceded a load of major opportunities either, and we are maybe on the attack here. Julio cutting inside, burns past his man, looking to get the ball into the middle, skips past his men, gets tackled from behind, keeps hold of it somehow, and buries it to make it 1-1. I feel like solo runs like this one was something that Julio was doing a load of last year. He showed a lot of strength here as well. There was like a tackle put in, he shrugged it off, kept his balance, latched onto the ball, and tucked it away really nicely. Okay, there is a goal in our favour, and now our tails are up. We're in possession at the edge of the box. Addams, you know, you could be playing a lot of first-team football, son, so hopefully you're going to look at place in this kind of game here. Nottingham Forest struggling towards the bottom. This is a really winnable game, but right now, they are on the attack. And you know what? They can shoot like that for the rest of the game if they want. Going to shout some encouragement at the players. We've drawn level. We're doing okay. Give me the green happy smiley faces. It's been a very, very even half in terms of chances. I do feel like as the home team, and given the fact Nottingham Forest are the favourites, they are going to be the team that maybe push on the attack sooner. And with that and the system that they are playing, I think that could leave them open to counter-attacks. Anyway, at the break, I'm going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. It's one of those games where I don't think we've been bad, but there's not been a load to scream and shout about, really. I think in this second half, I am going to change our mentality to attacking. I do talk about this a lot. Mentality I kind of view as a risk factor in Football Manager. It's a player's willingness to make gambles when you have possession going forward. With our system, even on attacking, we're always going to have the three centre-backs sitting back. But I do feel like when we do have the ball, just need to be a bit more willing to commit men forward. With an hour played, I'm going to make some changes. Bendel in for Addons, who's looked nervous all game. Lennis has not been great out on the right-hand side. Let's bring BJS back into the team. Sassy at left wing-back hasn't been good either. So you know what, Morrissey, come in for your live commentary debut. And I think for now, I'm just going to make the trio of changes. It's been a bit more cagey this second half. Fewer opportunities either way. Forest have made a couple of changes of their own. And with 20 minutes left, I mean, what do you change here? Do you change anything here? Do you just take the point and run on the road? I don't think I'm going to change systems, but you know what? There's 7 minutes left. Let's bring in some more fresh legs. Silver on the left, Spolyar up top. And well, now we brace ourselves and await any late drama. I'm going to do a late shout of demand more. Might not be the best option to pick, but in this moment, I want to get shouty. 4 minutes of added time. They're going to come. They're going to go. I'm not sure it's really a result that benefits either team, but in our quest for safety, all we need is points. If we draw every game, we'll stay up. But obviously, that's probably not going to be how it plays out. Draw leaves Lewis still chasing their first win in 8. Yeah, I'll admit, that doesn't read very well, does it? Our next game, though, is at home against the team that trail us in Aston Villa, down in 13th. And we are now on 26 points. I think, 38 should be safety. 40 is almost certainly safety. I think what could really help me now is getting in a new right attacking mid and a new centre-back. I did mention earlier, Bendel was a player who had a little bit of interest in him and could be a means to generate some funds. The alternative player, and the only other player I can really think of that I could sell for money, would be Ernest Tanko. I do really like Tanko. He's 20 years old. He's due to get homegrown at club soon. But if I could get a bid of £13 million, it would just enable me to get all my business done. And if I do just compare him with Diop from Sochaux, whose face has randomly changed, because FM26 loves to change regen faces for some reason, and we look at the head-to-head here, I think Diop is just better. And if I can sign Diop for £2 million, selling Tanko for, 14, just feels like it'd be a really good bit of business. Also, I will just say on the regen face changing point, it's this screen here. Something about this screen here breaks the player faces and just makes them change randomly. It's fine for your own players that aren't fake, but for, just any regens. Between matches, it seems to break as well. Like Watanabe, I mean, that's not what he looked like before the match, is it? Tanko's got interest in him. If I ask his agent about that interest, there's some clubs interested, including AC Milan. Well, look, they've got money. Come on, Milan. You've burnt me already today. Come and make a bid. Anyway, I'm going to try and explore some transfer options. We've got Villa in a week. I'll return if there's any bids and stuff happening. Otherwise, we might need to cash in on that clause. I really don't want to sell the Ambrosio sell-on for £11 million, but if it's £11 million that gets me signings that help us this season, it's probably not a bad idea. Well, I got a bid on Tanko and my eyes lit up, but it's £175,000 locked in. It offended me so much that before I could hit start record, I'd already rejected it. Like, why does the AI think that I'd sell him for £200,000? I actually don't understand this transfer bid at all. Also, Coventry wanted to loan Bendel. I need him for the first team, Coventry. And Levin here, who I actually rate very highly and has really good potential, there was a bid for him made by Leicester, 2.1 million. I discussed it with him. I've agreed if a bid of 7.75 million comes in for him, he can be sold. I don't think anyone's going to bid that much, and I kind of hope no one does bid that much, because I think he's a very good centre-back. I'm being asked if I want to delay all these transfers, and whilst I could adjust the budgets on some of them, actually just delaying them makes the most sense, because if I adjust the budgets to secure one of the signings, I definitely can't get the others in. Sefu transfer delay as well. I mean, I'm taking the mick here a little bit. We're going to deadline day probably. I just need to get one semi-acceptable bid for a more rotation player, and I would definitely just do these other deals, because I think the two first teamers really could be helpful. My head is just telling me that I should just sell the clause. I don't think there was any other clauses that I could sell for similar money. I mean, £11 million is just a lot of money to get outright, and compared to all the other clauses I can sell on, I mean, yeah, none of these other ones even come close. In fact, the rest of these clauses are literally like tens, if not a few hundreds of thousands of pounds. Do I think Ambrosio's going to go for more than 20 million? Are they just wasting his development by not doing anything with him? Oh, I don't know what to do. I have offered out Tanko again. There's no offers for Tanko. There's no, you know what? Oh, I might live to regret this if Ambrosio goes on for millions. But I'm going to sell this clause. I'm going to sell this clause, and then that immediately allows me to trigger the buy-ins on all of these players. Transfer, ask for confirmation. Transfer, ask for confirmation. Transfer, ask for confirmation. This is quite therapeutic. Boom, bosh, bing, wallop. I ran out of things that began with B to say as we sign Diop. I think these signings are all worth it. I think. Does mean the total number of new acquisitions in January is now 12, which I'll admit is quite a lot. But I do have to say, just in the case of Silva for 3.1 million and Diop for 2.3 million, I really believe these are players that can make a difference this season. And it might be a little bit naive, given the fact we're taking on Aston Villa right now. I'm tempted to chuck them both in the first team. BJS has got a little bit of a knock, and I'm going to start Diop over him. Jimenez's form has been a little bit questionable, and while Silva isn't as good defensively, I think he is arguably a more complete player. Lennis is also out, as is Ortiz. Garcia's still suspended, and O'Loughlin's injured, so our squad is actually down to kind of the bare bones at this point. Creti, of course, filling in at right wing back with Silva and Diop in the team. Addons, I'm going to continue to persevere with at centre mid. I don't really have a better alternative other than, I suppose, Bendel. I feel like when you compare the two players, there's not a world of difference between them, and because of Adams' kind of younger age, I just feel like he's the man I want to try and get more out of. But given how much he has struggled, Bendel, you know, if we don't do well here, probably has to be given a run in the first team. Okay, giving numbers to these players. Diop, I am really hoping you are going to tear things up. His physical should be terrifying, and Silva is actually a quality centre-back. We've not won in 8. There's 2 new players in the starting 11. I need to hope there's some inspiration to be found. I'll tell you what, Morgan Rogers, Harvey Elliott, Kamara, they've got a very good team, have Aston Villa. Kind of makes the fact that we're ahead of them more shocking. I think they've actually won some of their games in hand and gone above us, so I can't even claim that anymore. Okay, keep an eye on number 10. I've got very, very high hopes for Diop in our team, and I suppose similarly for Silva at centre-back. Hopefully they're going to be difference makers here, as we're on the attack early doors. Imagine if we score immediately. Cardozo outside the box. Diop on his debut, back to Adams, shoots. I mean, if that had gone in, I don't know what I would have done. It was never going in, was it? We've retained a clean sheet for longer in this game than we did against Nottingham Forest. I am going to view that as a positive. I feel like this is a game where we can have a little bit more of the ball, given the fact that Aston Villa are just playing with the lone striker and we're distributing it to our centre-backs. There should be quite a lot of time and space for the wide centre-backs to carry the ball forward. I'll tell you what, it's a good job there's transfers in this episode, because the action on the pitch has left a lot to be desired. It is 0-0 at the break. It's not been very good. They are making a hat-trick of changes at half-time. Clearly, they are not happy at Villa with how that first half has gone. They are probably going to be going a little bit more attacking, which could maybe open up the opportunity to hit them on the break. They've brought in Akinyeme on off the bench at striker. He's a very big boy with 18 jumping reach. Welcome to the Premier League, Silva. Good luck marking him. I suppose really I should be looking at making my own changes, because there's only half an hour left. I could play for the point. I could play it safe. I'm not going to do that. We're going to go for things here, I think, a little bit. New signing Silva doesn't have the best of match fitness, so I'm going to bring in Spolyar. Annoyingly, I am going to have to move him forward when we're out of possession. This is something I've been doing on the regular with him. Aguiar's not at the best of games either. I'm going to play Silva up top. Julio's on a booking. Nobody liked that. In fact, you know what? I'm going to have to do something a bit different here. Silva's going to play on the left. BJS is up top. Diop is staying on the pitch out on the right-hand side. And you know what? In the midfield, Bendel on for Adams. Bendel, make a name for yourself. I think the Adams experiment might be over after today. Right, we're playing a bit more possession-orientated, trying to take the game to Aston Villa that little bit more with our aggressive kind of 4-2-3-1. I mean, with 20 minutes left, I just want to see some attacks. There's been no highlights outside of the kickoff one shown until now. Throw in on the far side, Bendel, Creti, Diop, the new boy. What can he do? He skips past his man. That's a lovely run. Whips it in. Spolyar is there. Diop gets an assist on his debut, and we are a goal up. There is part of me thinking, you know, longer term, abandoning the three at the back to go to a much more conventional to this 4-2-3-1 could be the way to go. That is definitely kind of in the back of my mind at this point. I feel like the system that we're playing here is fine when we're chasing a game. and kind of fine for short bursts, but I feel like over a season we'd get absolutely killed with it, with kind of the overcommitment of men forward. I think longer term, something like this shape is what we could end up playing. I'm going to put Sassy and Creti just to play as fullbacks here. They don't need to go forward, and in fact, Diop, don't worry about staying forward now. You know, just come and track back. Let's make sure we get men behind the ball when we're out of possession. Right, we got our noses ahead. I'm now trying to shut up shop whilst really not abandoning what got us ahead in terms of the slightly more positive style of play, especially in the final third. Sassy, big ball forward to Silva, takes it down nicely. The number 14, no one really in support, needs to try and get the ball into the middle if he can. He floats it, Diop's there, and oh my word, what a save by the keeper to deny the debutant a goal. Silva was the man who put in that cross just then. He's now gone over to the far side to take this corner. We've got big boys in the middle, including Juan Pereira. The right centre-back has popped up with a massive goal. Yes, it's a set piece. Yes, it feels a bit dirty to score them. But you know what? We have a massive team of blokes. Like, all our players have crazy jumping reach. We should be scoring set pieces. There is a kickoff highlight, just as I'm starting to enjoy myself and thinking, you know what? We could win our first game in 8 games. Now I begin to panic that if they get one back, the crumble could still happen. Creti with the ball at right back gives it forward to Diop, who's looked like a live wire today. Already has an assist to his name. On this occasion, runs into trouble, but perseveres to keep it. Spolyar wrestles the ball away and nearly added a third. That was just wide. 2-0 up. Have to say, we absolutely deserve it on the balance of play. I'm going to praise the players here. Give me green, happy, smiley faces. Give me 3 points, Football Manager. I've not had this in forever. Oh my word, we're actually going to win a game of football, I think. And if we could do it in some style, that would be nice. Spolyar over the corner. They're scoring another corner. Where's Pereira's forehead? Oh my word, it's not Pereira's forehead, it's Sassy's forehead. It is free. Spolyar put the ball in, and again, it's this near post. They actually had 4 players under it. Somehow Sassy wins the header and diverts it to the far post. I mean, 4 minutes of added time, I'm just happy we've won a game. Now I'm entirely justified in my decision to come back for this match in this episode. A good win, a good performance, that will do me. 4 points today, 4 much needed points. Takes our points tally for the season to 29, and we are now 9 points clear of the drop. Diop impresses on his debut. I'll tell you what, he looks really, really good out on that right-hand side. I almost look at his polygon and his 14 finishing thinking, it's a bit of a shame he can't play as a striker, really, but I feel like with these physicals, he's going to be absolutely horrible for defenders to deal with. Admittedly, he's now played that game and he's now tired and in need of a rest. He can have a rest. He's done his job. Now, of course, I kind of teased that today's episode, we were also going to do deadline day. There is £4 million in the bank, so I might have a little look around at what's available, but we'll get forward to deadline day. Maybe a little bit of wheeling and dealing, but to be honest, having made 12 signings, admittedly only 3 for the first team, I don't know how much more I've got in the tank in terms of players I actually want to buy. Okay, well, it is deadline day, and you know what? There's money. We might as well try and spend it. Admittedly, given the wage budget, maybe it's worth jigging a little bit of wage budget surplus, but I wonder what we can get for 3.75 million. I say that like I've not already been looking through the players that I've got scouted here at the club. There are some really good players here. Hafid is a player who I've been umming and ahhing about all window. Moroccan international. His value is a little on the higher side, and he wants a fairly senior kind of squad role. But at 18 years old, he looks absolutely kind of quality. His current ability is already really good. Lack of consistency is maybe a concern, as is the kind of asking price they had for him. I mean, obviously, I'd have to do something installment-based if I wanted to try and get this one over the line. And yeah, there is an £8 million release clause that his club won, and I can't afford. I really like the look of this guy, definitely one on my radar. In terms of other players being recommended here by my staff, like there's some okay players here, but actually kind of, in terms of the recommendations, there's very few that I actually agree with. Like apparently Job Van Dijk here, he plays at Excelsior, like apparently he's really good. He might have great potential, but £10 million for this guy? I just don't think it makes sense. There's a list of some players being recommended to me here by my staff. They're lone listed players from Manchester United and Chelsea, and whilst, you know what, they might be great little players, I don't really want to spend my time developing players for my rivals in the Premier League. Is it silly to describe Chelsea and Manchester United as my rivals? Some might think so, I don't think it is. The only place in the first team that I feel like could truly do with an upgrade is maybe at defensive mid. Like if there was a really good, affordable defensive mid out there, I could be tempted. Gonna put age at most 24, and in fact there is a player here who I did look at one point in Blake Pearce. I love this guy as a centre mid option. He wanted £40,000 a week to come to us, which just feels like a bit too much, but at this moment in time, is it the worst idea in the world to try and sign him? 38 to £47,000. I could ask for him to lower them. He'll lower it to 35,000. I mean, a release clause of 5 million is there. I'm just thinking with the issues I've got at defensive mid for 5 million, maybe it's worth now going back in for him. I will try and negotiate something that has instalments just to help our money go a bit further, but because of the release clause, they might just outright reject £5.5 million in clauses. Because, you know what, 5 million is way below his market value. Annoyingly, right, at 5 million, I'm not sure if I can afford him or not. But he is a really well-rounded defensive mid, and if it costs me £35,000 to bring in that defensive mid, maybe it's just worth it. He's not a defensive mid who's going to put in crunching tackles, but he is a defensive mid who I think can offer us something. I don't love the minimum release clause. I hate the yearly wage rise. He wants a loyalty bonus of 1.4 million, which is absolutely insane. I mean, I don't think I can lower his wage demands because I've just removed so much other stuff that was included in this deal. Oh, his agent is a pain. I don't want to do this. Okay, that took a bit of back and forth. Thomas has accepted that. Now, the issue is that's a deal for £5 million. Obviously, I just adjusted the budgets. Can I put it back to 5 million? I can't. So if I am going to sign him, I've got to try and find £1 million from somewhere. Now, to be honest, when I was looking to move on a player and, well, get more than £1 million, it was a struggle when I was needing like 8 million. But actually, surely there's a player worth £1 million here that I don't need. With respect to Fram here, 1.3 million for him would give me the amount I need to get the deal done. Let's offer out from 1.3 million. That's a bargain for someone. Someone can make a bid. I now start thinking about these clauses, thinking, can all the tens of thousands actually work out? I guess I could sell on the Suljic sell-on. I have a sell-on of 30% of any profit. Obviously, we sold him for £14 million. He has a release clause of 30 million, if I'm not mistaken. Is it 30 million? Yeah, to a foreign club to Suljic. Which means best case scenario, I am going to get 30% of the profit on £16 million. I could get 4.8 million. I could just get 1.2 million now. Potentially lose 3.6 million pounds. But I do think Blake Pearce is someone who could just help us finish higher up the league. And with how the Premier League prize money works, I just have to finish 2 positions higher to make up that 3.6 million. Is Blake good enough to get me that extra 3.6 million? Equally, am I going to have the opportunity to sign a player this good again for 5 million pounds? I'm not sure I am. Cardozo needs a new friend. Blake could be his friend. I think this makes sense. I think £5 million of this guy's crazy. And whilst it obviously is a bit of a risk and a shame that I'm going to lose out on a sell-on because of the release clause, it's capped at how much it could possibly be worth. The most it could be worth is 3.6 million. Or rather, the most it could be worth is 4.8 million, but obviously minus the 1.2. The difference in terms of what I could make is £4 million. I'm going to sell that clause. I'll tell you what, if Blake now decides not to come to me, I am fuming. I did not think I was going to be stretching our transfer budget as much as I am stretching it right now. All of this would be a lot easier if I was actually able to ask the board for more transfer budget. We've got £26 million in bank balance. We've actually got loads of money, but I can't ask for more transfer budget. Because I know someone will have written in the comments earlier, why did you ask for more transfer budget? Can't do it, chief. They won't let me, because I already had the wage budget increased at the start of December. Okay, Pearce has been granted a work permit. I think that is massive. He is a new top earner at the club, but he's a player that my scouts rate highly. I think he's very, very good. Yes, he's not very adaptable. He doesn't enjoy important matches. It's not like we're going to be in cup finals for a few years. And for £5 million, I think it's a sensible buy. Apparently he only has a basic grasp of English, so I can send Blake Pearce on an English course. He's American though. Nationality American, fluent in Spanish. I mean, I'm going to be honest, Blake Pearce doesn't sound Hispanic to me. What would I know? Anyway, I'm sorry to all the fans sat outside the training ground waiting for any more late arrivals. That is very much just done in the transfer window. I'm actually over the wage budget by £25,000. I really didn't expect to do much in this January window, but I do feel like with Diop, Silva and Blake, we've basically added 3 first-teamers, 1 in the attack, 1 in the midfield, 1 in the defence, that can actually just help us kick on a little bit in the second half of the season. There's definitely an argument to suggest the first team's getting a little bit maybe on the larger side, and that's probably not incorrect. But at the same time, with where we're at right now, I'd rather have a few too many players, have a few unhappy campers, and just make sure we do secure our Premier League status. Right, deadline day has passed, everyone. That wraps up things for today. We bloody won a football match. We signed some new players. And I know we have some American viewers, so right now they are fist pumping whilst they enjoy their cereal on their morning. Diop, Pearce, Silva. Remember the names. I hope they are going to be really good. Oh, and just to tie up one other loose end, FA Cup. Obviously, we played an FA Cup round last episode. We don't play the 4th round for a few more weeks. When we do play it, it's against Stoke in the Championship. I'm going to work on the assumption we will win that. Maybe that's going to be incorrect. I would really love to go on an FA Cup run starting next episode. Let me know what you think of my transfer dealings down in the comments below. We'll be back next time for more. And until then, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.